All right, Jamie, let's see what we got here. So we are rolling with a join group Facebook ad, which I don't think I've ever reviewed yet. But principles will all be the same. If we're not getting enough of the right people in, enough buyers in, then this video will help. And um, I've already taken, kind of the 10 principles I'm going to talk about in this video, or the 10 mistakes. I've already taken them and used them on other um, boudoir ads, kind of comparing the old ad that the boudoir photographer is running and then comparing it to the metrics of the new ad. And on average, I get like 2 to 4x the number of women actually consuming the ad, reading what the ad's about. And these women are actually, more specific. So, usually higher converting. Um, so normally if you get 2 to 4x more specific people coming through, normally that'll be probably more conversions at the back end. So it's kind of frame of reference we're going to try to do for your ad here today. So first thing is, first kind of the top 10 mistakes I look at, the first one, you know, preventing the right buyers from coming in, the high intent people from coming in, is, does it look like an ad? So is this an organic post someone would put out? Kind of looking at the photo right now. Is this an organic post that someone would put out, kind of a, just normal Facebook post, the other brand's logo on it? No. So this definitely looks like an ad, mostly because just the text on the image. Sorry, that's mistake one. So we're gonna have more women scrolling by. Um, Although the word boudoir there's kind of helps a little bit, but still a mistake to have any text on the image. Um, And all right, so that's mistake one. So it's kind of going to get more people going by. Um, and our ad, meta ad algorithm won't really know who exactly to send our, who to send our ad to. All right, now the next four mistakes can happen up here. So this is called the See More headline. This is the first 2 3/4 lines on mobile newsfeed, which is where 90% of your impressions will actually be taking place. So if you go to your ads manager in the top right above your data, click on breakdown, click on placements, you'll see actually Facebook mobile newsfeed will be like 90% or more of your impressions. So we got 2 3/4 lines to work with, because here where I'm highlighting, it'll say ... see more. So this is basically our headline. We got 2 3/4 see more, 2 3/4 lines see more headline before it gets cut off. So this is where we gotta say who we're talking to. So first of four mistakes can happen if we don't have like a who are we talking to? Was a self-label that they have where they would read it and say, oh my God, that's me. So we're missing that here. So what do you have? You got Bombshell Boudoir VIP Lounge. This is a private safe space for women. So you got solution and then private safe space for women. Solution. All right. So those are kind of the specific attributes, solution, which we don't need them in the See More headline at all. Those can be, lower in our body copy. So we're missing the who. So, we're going to have a lot more women scrolling by because they don't feel like it's for them, or maybe they weren't exactly looking to join a Boudoir Facebook group. But if we can get the right See More headline, then, and it's speaking to them, then they'll actually consider it. And considering is the first step, of converting. So, all right, missing the who. The next thing is, do we have a negative experience that women want to move away from, where our Bombshell Boudoir VIP Lounge is the solution or the bridge to get them away from that negative? And we always want to lead with the negative because humans take action to move away from negatives, aka pains, literally at like 100x the rate, compared to moving from like neutral to some positive, some pleasure, some gain. So basically negative or pain to neutral. People are gonna, take action all day, but neutral to a gain or a pleasure, um, or something positive. Much less people doing it. So that's why I want to leave with a neg. And think of it like this. So think of last time we went to the dentist. Okay, we got our 6-month checkup, 6-month cleaning. And then we come out and pay. And the secretary ladies, they are asking it for free 24 Thursdays from now at 6:15 a.m. And we tell them, man, I ain't got no clue, no idea what my schedule is, but contact me later and I'll figure it out later because I'm busy. Suddenly they start contacting us 3 months, 4 months, 5 months to get us booked for a 6-month checkup. We ignore them. We're busy. The gain, the pleasure that comes from teeth are a little bit cleaner is not enough for us to take action to actually get an appointment on the calendar. And then 6 months, yeah, we still ignore them. And then around, 12 months, they're hitting us up again. Hey, come on, get in, get in, get in. Got to get your 6-month cleaning. And yeah, then again, we basically ignore them. Everything, our teeth are fine. We floss, we brush every night. And so not small gain to get from going to the dentist after a year. But then, month like 15, one day we start feeling pain with every bite, breakfast, lunch, dinner, every time we're eating anything, really painful. And then we go to sleep, but we can't sleep. Too much tooth pain. So the next day we're calling the dentist trying to get an appointment. And we're like, trying to book something, get on the calendar. And we're like, and what do you mean you guys don't have availability tomorrow, 7:15 a.m.? What do you mean you guys are booked 4 weeks straight? You're booking 4 weeks out right now. My tooth's killing me. I gotta get in and just get rid of this pain. Just, get back to normal so I can just eat normal. And yeah, they're booked. We can't get in, but we gotta go, find another dentist. So we get in, we go with them, get our tooth fixed. Back to normal, back to like default level, back to homeostasis. So the pain of, tooth pain finally was, basically annoying enough, painful enough, negative enough to get us to finally take an action to solve the pain in just one day, in literally 24 hours, whereas, almost a year and a half for a little bit of pleasure, a little bit of gain, get our teeth cleaned, it was not enough to get us to take action. So that is why we always lead with the negative first. So we're missing the negative. So, women going through a negative experience, they don't feel our group is for them. And so they scroll right on by. So we're getting less women to click through, less women to join the group, which leads to less engagement in the group, less qualified conversations when they DM you in the group, less call bookings, more ghosting, more being ghosted, more kind of more frustration. Wonder if you should keep running these ads, more ads burning out, all things like that. So it's the second specific attribute in the See More headline. And then let's see, we want to have it positive. That's the third specific attribute. What is something women can get from what is something women saying in their brain that they can get from our solution that we're offering? So what do they want? Do they want a private, are they in there saying in their head saying I want a private safe space for women? Hmm. Hmm. I think more they'd be saying to themselves they want, you know, whatever, more energy, more feminine energy. Um, you know, yeah, I would still say private safe space for women is a solution, not positive. Positively, what do they get out of the private safe space for women? You know, comfortable, happy, you know, whatever, um, fun, enjoyment, whatever words you can think of. So that's why I'm going to say private safe space for women. I'm going to say that's a solution. That's a bridge to help them get to the positive thing they actually want. So we're missing the positive. So we're missing the negative positive tension in the brain, which really captures attention. Because you gotta think about it. There's people are scrolling like this, and basically this Seymour headline that I highlighted up here, their subconscious really doesn't register the words until they're kind of down here scrolling on by. And then if it's relevant to them, then they come back up. Boudoir is relevant to people that know about Boudoir, but what the market of people who don't know about Boudoir is, 100,000x bigger than those that do know about it. So we're missing out on so many people and specific messages to different groups of people in our same audience in our same city. Although you probably are just targeting the entire US, honestly. Well, actually, I don't know. No, you probably are only targeting your city. Yeah, I'm guessing. So we're missing that negative positive tension that really captures people's intent to click see more and keep reading the rest of our ad copy. Because this stuff down here is actually all hidden. It's all, yeah, it's basically all hidden. So the last and final thing we want to see more headline is like a hesitation or roadblock. What is stopping someone? What is someone saying in their brain that's stopping them from taking action? Or something that's not working with other solutions, or something they don't want to do with other solutions, things like that. So we're missing that here, which means we're missing the triangle of mental tension, which is the negative, the positive, the hesitation slash roadblock, which what does that do? That gets to a super specific person of who our, basically who our group is for. And basically when we get that and we get super specific, our ad actually sustains a lot longer, goes a lot more to the right people, and doesn't burn out as fast. And so we're, actually happy getting results with our ads. All right, so that's for the see more headline. So, and that's where kind of the first 5 mistakes of a Boudoir Facebook ad can happen. Then the next 3 mistakes can happen here in the body copy, but let's see what you got here. I want to feel empowered. Oh, dude, exactly what I was saying for the positive. Feel empowered. This has got to be, in the see more headline. Embrace their body. Yeah, I could see women saying, I want to embrace my, yeah, that's got to be in the see more headline. And another positive, explore the world. Yeah, that's got to be a see more headline. If it's all, if it's all actually been tested good. So, all right, so you hit it below the see more. And remember I was literally saying like, what do they want to feel? What do they want to get out of joining the group? And okay, you had it right below, but I didn't read through the full ad, so I literally didn't even look to the rest of your text yet. But all right, now we are. Want to feel, okay. So when we get to the body copy, basically the see more headline up top is kind of like hook 1, and they click see more. Then the body copy, you've got to have a hook 2, a reason why should they keep reading. So we like to use an authority hook here, which is what I did at the beginning of the video, showing my results. I've been able to improve other boudoir photography ads, kind of just taking them on my own, testing them, fixing the mistakes, improving them. And so why should Why should women listen to you about what you're going to talk about? This VIP, this VIP lounge. So we're missing out here. That's a mistake. So that means, less people are going to read through the ad copy, less people are going to get pre-qualified, less people are going to take the action we want them to take. And that feedback goes to Meta, where we're actually not basically sending bad data, bad results back to Meta, which forces our ad to go to lower quality prospects in the future, which just gets worse results, so it's kind of a negative feedback loop. Let's see, the next thing we want to have is like a narrative or a story. So the See More headline up here is kind of punch one of the 1-2 punch, where we're meeting the women in their brains, the conversation they're having with themselves, what they want to get away from, what they want, kind of hesitation roadblock that's stopping them. And then the story / narrative down here that we want to have is basically kind of like a video recording of what's going on in their life, describing what's going on in their life. So it's like a 1-2 punch where women are reading and they're like, wow, that is specifically what I'm, kind of what's going on in my brain and what's going on in my life. This ad is really for me. And what they're offering is probably for me as well, if they're, that specific. Yeah, it's kind of the strange thing about marketing that we gotta, basically, if there's more than one competitor offer, we literally gotta tell people, oh, like, who our solution is specifically for. Now, if there's no competitors, we could just say, want solution, here is solution in our ad, but we got more than 0 competitors, so that's why we gotta get specific, because it allows us to stand out and actually be seen as really like a market of one, kind of like their only option. So that 1-2 punch really helps with it. Yes, we're totally missing a narrative. The next thing we want to have is third and final thing for the body copy is a full offer. So kind of explain the full offer, and you probably do have that. Let's see. The supportive community, inspire confidence and stuff. Okay. Yeah, there you go. As a member, you'll gain access to behind the scenes sneak peeks of Boudoir sessions. Exclusive. Yep. X-ray text. Perfect. No boys allowed. That's like was that Little Rascals? Oh no, Little Rascals, She-Man, Woman Hating Club. All right, so yeah, you got a full offer here, so that's good. So this will filter out the women that want this or don't want this, and the women that don't want it, cool, they'll go on by. It's not for them, and that's good because Meta learns who to send our ad to by A, who converts, which is actually the much lower data volume of data, but number 2, who clicks on the ad. And so if we're filtering people out and they're not clicking, that's good because Meta is going to avoid showing our ad to Meta profiles that share similar characteristics with that person that scrolled by and did not take an action. So, all right, you got an offer. The next 2 mistakes that can happen or the final 2 mistakes. Number 1 is down here at the bottom, which is we never ever want anything below our creative. So we got below creative headline here and a join group button. And yeah, we never want to have anything below our ad creative. So this is for mistake 9. The reason we never want to have anything below our creative is 5% of the reason is basically once, they're scrolling by, once they get here and they're reading these words down here, their subconscious has processed the See More headline from up here that's actually showing. And so if there's any incongruencies, it's going to signal the error detection network in their brain saying like error, incongruent, confusing, just keep scrolling, because we're not talking about the same things. And actually that is reason 2. 15% of the reason is that error detection network. Reason number one is actually ties in with mistake number one, makes it look more like an ad. There's no organic posts that have text underneath and a button underneath. So 5%. So reason one for this mistake number 9 is 5% makes it look more like an ad. Reason number 2 for mistake number 9, 15%. Other reason it's mistake is this really just text here is literally just a potential for incongruent messaging, and like having congruent messaging there really doesn't give any boost at all because their subconscious is processing this highlighted text up here by the time they get here anyways, and then they'll just scroll back up to read it. So this really a dead space of the ad here in the bottom left. And the third reason for this mistake number 9, the 80% of the reason why it's bad to have anything below is it allows the ad viewer to click here, this text here in the bottom left or the join group button before clicking see more, before getting pre-qualified. And how does Meta determine who to show our ad to? Well, obviously by who clicked and converted, which is a small number of people. It's a small volume of data. But a much larger volume of data is who clicked but then did not convert. Because Meta will actually still go towards those profiles that clicked and did not convert. Because they're like, oh, well, they clicked, so something interested them. But it must have been, where they went to, which was bad or not congruent or something. So that's really 80% of the reason why this is, mistake number 9 is it just screws up where our ads go into over time, leading to our ad burning out, less of the right people coming through, less of less qualified conversations, getting frustrated, meta ads ain't working, nobody has any money, and so that's why it's mistake number 9. And then mistake number 10 would be the objective. Now, I don't know what objective you're using because I know, view Instagram profile, view Facebook page, that's a traffic objective. I don't know what the join group one is. Honestly, I don't know if it's traffic as well. I'm going to assume it's traffic, and traffic and engagement and leads, they're always a mistake because our ads are not going to people with buyer history, buyer data on their profiles. A very tiny fraction will have buyer data on their profiles, on their meta profiles. But, if you did traffic, then Meta is taking like the 6% slice of the market that you're targeting, 6%, and they're literally just saying, okay, who's most likely to click on a traffic ad and who is most likely to, kind of these words in these ads would be relevant to them, whether they're saying it in real life or chatting on the phone. Basically like, because Meta is always listening, the Facebook app on our phone always listening, so that's how Meta knows, part of how Meta knows who to send our ad to. All right, so yeah, I'll give you half a mistake because I don't know if you're doing traffic, could be using the correct objective for getting buyers. I'm assuming you pan ads to eventually get buyers, kind of the final step. So that's kind of where my thinking's going. So all right, let's go over all the mistakes in total. I'll give you a final score and compare it to what I've seen with everyone else with their boudoir ads. All right, so we got mistake 1. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Is that right? 1. Oh no. 1 and then 4 and then 2, 7, 8, 8.5. So 8.5 mistakes out of 10. Okay. And the average for the entire boudoir industry is 8 out of 10 mistakes. So yeah, you're basically right around average with everyone else. Basically, everyone's kind of mostly making all the same mistakes. And so you got 8.5 out of 10 mistakes. And I consider any boudoir Facebook ad that has more than 2 out of 10 mistakes to be a broken down ad. Kind of like a broken down car. It ain't running right. It's not working right. And where do we take a broken down car? Well, we take it to a car mechanic. And where do we take our broken boudoir Facebook ad? Well, we take it to a boudoir Facebook ad mechanic. So yes, I do have a boudoir Facebook ad mechanic offer to fix this stuff in here, fix kind of these root cause problems. And I take the 10 mistakes I talked about, squish them down into actually 5 root cause problems. So root cause problem 1 is, does it look like an ad? Yeah, we gotta have a different picture here. So I can fix that. That's root cause problem number 1. Root cause problem number 2, we need a much better see more headline that's actually relevant to people, not just solution. Do you want a solution? Buy a solution here. So that's root cause problem 2. Root cause problem 3, well, because in see more headline you get 0 out of the 4 specific attributes. Root cause problem 3 potentially would be the ad copy. And yeah, you're missing 2 out of the 3 parts of the body copy. So that's root cause problem 3. Root cause problem 4 would be below creative headline and button. Gotta get rid of those. Gotta see if the way you're running the ad though, may not be able to remove the join group button, but that's root cause problem 4. Then your objective, yeah, I'm not sure what objective you're using, so that's basically half of the root cause problems. We got 4.5 out of the 5 root cause problems, and I kind of got two offers to be the mechanic for this ad. So the first one is I charge $50 per root cause problem that I solve for this per ad, so just for this one ad. And you can obviously take them and use them across all the other ads you run as well. Charge $50 each, and you can choose one or two or all of them. If you choose all of them, it would be $225. Option 2 is much better value. Option 2 is actually I do all your ads, I do everything for your ads. $100 a month. We solve all the problems possible. We get super specific with your market as possible, where we can have multiple of the same ad with a different see more headline and body copy, but kind of starting with the see more headline, going to different specific women and kind of what they're saying in their heads in the same city. So we're pulling in all these different specific women from our different ads. So, yep, and I'll do as many ads as you want. You want $100 a month. Fix, and you can collab with me as much or as little as you want. I don't care. And basically, if you're spending more than $100 in ad spend, like $100 in ad spend, that more than $100 in ad spend per month, that's where it actually tips to actually making value sense to just hire me to do that, because we'll be way more efficient with the ad spend. So yeah, you got my phone number, you got my email, you got my or whatever social platform you're on watching this right now. You can also DM me if you want to talk more, move forward with any of these 2 offers. And yeah, when you hit me up, I'll ask what you got for me. So yeah, that's everything for now. Adios.